Begin seated in your butterfly position with the soles of your feet together and your spine stacked. Begin to tuck your chin into your chest and around your spine. Dive your head over your feet, lengthening through the spine, and arch your way up. Continue these body waves, rounding and arching 3 times. With your spine stacked, hold on to your ankles and pull your heels close to your hips. Activate your outer hips and press your knees down towards the floor. Hold for 2 to 3 counts and then release. Repeat this activation, squeezing the knees wide and release 4 times. Straighten your legs out in front of you and point your toes. Bending to one side, plant your hand and sweep the opposite arm up and over your ear, creating a side bend. Begin to sweep forward over your legs and then find the other side. Push up and over to complete the circle. Then reverse. Press up and over into the side bend, sweep forward, find the opposite side bend, and press up and over. Repeat side to side, sweeping in these circles 3 to 4 times. Then return to neutral. Reach your arms up overhead and fold over your legs, tucking your chin towards your knees. Hold here for 2 to 3 breaths and continue to engage your quadriceps, keeping the legs straight. From your folded pike position, begin to scoop your belly and roll down through the spine onto your back. Bend your knees and rock your hips off of the floor, sending your toes overhead into a plow pose. From your plow, slowly and with control, roll down through the spine. Send your straight legs to the floor as you arch up and wave over your legs into a forward fold. Continue this sequence from forward fold into plow 3 times, finishing in your plow pose. From your plow position, bend your elbows and place your hands on your low spine to support your back. Engage your glutes and your abs and lift your toes up to the ceiling for a shoulder stand. Press your hips forward toward your face as your heels press away, creating a straight line from the back of your neck through the tips of your toes. Hold here, reaching further to the ceiling for 3 to 4 breaths. Gently let the legs come back down to the floor overhead and roll down through the spine until your hips reach the floor. Bend your knees toward your chest and open your arms to a T position with your palms flat. Allow your knees to fall towards the side, hovering 2 inches above the ground. Straighten the top leg and flex the foot, and then bring the entire shape back to center. Bend the knee and repeat to the other side. Continue to alternate, rolling twist from side to side 4 to 6 times. And then return to center. Open the knees to a 90-degree angle or tabletop position and place your arms along the floor by your hips, palms down. Engage your abdominals and keeping the 90-degree angle, tap your toes on the floor and then bring them back to the starting position. Continue these toe taps 6 to 8 times with control. Extend both legs up to the ceiling and keep your toes pointed. Begin bending one knee and then bending the other, creating tiny prances on the ceiling. Continue this action and begin to make it bigger, sending one leg towards the floor and one leg closer to your face each time. Alternate 10 to 12 times. When the right leg is closest to you, maintain the shape with the left leg hovering 2 inches above the floor. Crunch your nose up to your knee, hollowing your belly, and reach your hands around your calf. Pulse the leg toward you twice, and then switch, pulsing and switching. Continue to alternate 8 to 10 times. When the left leg is closest to you, hold on to it. Kick the leg down away from you and rock up to sit. Release the leg, cross the ankles, and shift up and over onto your hands and knees. Immediately tuck your toes and step back into a downward facing dog, with your sit bones high and your heels reaching for the floor. Rise up onto your toes and twist your knees to one direction. Bend your knees and squat your hips to your heels, and then extend back through center. Repeat to the opposite side. Be sure to keep the heels of your hands planted into the floor the whole time. Alternate from side to side about 6 times. Then, find center. From your downward dog position, rise up onto your toes. Roll your spine out into a plank pose, stacking your shoulders over your wrists. Hold for a breath, and then drop your hips and open your chest into a cobra pose, keeping the back leg straight and the toes tucked. Hold for a breath, and then, leading from your hips, hike up and back into your down dog. Repeat this sequence 3 times, finishing in your cobra pose. Lower your hips and thighs to the ground and point your back toes, finding your true cobra position. Keeping your shoulders facing forward, begin to twist so that one hip point comes off of the floor. Roll through center and then pick up the opposite hip bone. Continue these twists from side to side 6 times, and then find center. Rolling to one side, stack one hip and leg on top of the other. Press down into your bottom hand and bring your ear to your opposite shoulder. Hold for 2 to 3 breaths and then return to your cobra pose. Repeat to the other side. From your cobra pose, begin to twist the shoulders, pulling one shoulder back. As you look over the shoulder, bend the opposite knee and bring the heel toward your hips. Then, switch. Continue to alternate looking over one shoulder and the other, and kicking the opposite leg toward your hips, about 6 to 8 times. Then, release the legs. Lower your chest to the floor and push yourself back into a puppy pose. Stack your hips directly over your knees and place your palms together in a prayer pose. Make sure your elbows are directly in line with your shoulders and your fingertips point straight up to the ceiling. Sink your chest as much to the floor as possible and hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Release the bend of the arms and sit yourself back into your child's pose. From your child's pose, tuck your toes and send your hips up and back into a downward dog position. Extend through the legs and hold for 2 to 3 breaths. Bend one knee in toward your chest and step between your hands, finding a standing lunge position. Interlace your hands and place them on your front thigh. Place your hands on your hips and extend through the back leg completely. Bend deeper into the front knee and then extend the front leg completely, standing all the way up. Continue moving between this low lunge and a standing position 4 to 6 times, getting deeper into your lunge each time. In your low lunge, begin to lift your front heel off the floor. Lower it with control, and then lift your toes off the floor. Alternate lifting the heel and toe 3 to 4 times. Plant your hands on the floor, framing your front foot, and lower the back knee and toes to the floor. Plant your hands inside the front foot and kick the back knee off of the floor. Turn out the thighs and rotate into a side lunge. Hold for a breath and then turn back into your lunge facing forward. Allow the front thigh to roll open and come to the outside of your back leg. Keep trying to open the front thigh away from your torso, creating a stretch in the outer hip. Continue to floss from side lunge to this twisted position 3 to 4 times. Find yourself facing forward and then sweep your front leg back to the back leg and sit back in your child's pose. Then repeat on the other side. Tuck your toes and send your hips up and back into a downward dog position. Extend through the legs and hold for 2 to 3 breaths. Bend one knee in toward your chest and step between your hands, finding a standing lunge position. Interlace your hands and place them on your front thigh. Place your hands on your hips and extend through the back leg completely. Bend deeper into the front knee and then extend the front leg completely, standing all the way up. Continue moving between this low lunge and a standing position 4 to 6 times, getting deeper into your lunge each time. In your low lunge, begin to lift your front heel off the floor. Lower it with control and then lift your toes off the floor. Alternate lifting the heel and toe 3 to 4 times. Plant your hands on the floor, framing your front foot, and lower the back knee and toes to the floor. Plant your hands inside the front foot and kick the back knee off of the floor. Turn out the thighs and rotate into a side lunge. Hold for a breath and then turn back into your lunge facing forward. Allow the front thigh to roll open and come to the outside of your back leg. Continue to floss from side lunge to this twisted position 3 to 4 times. Find yourself facing forward and then sweep your front leg back to the back leg and sit back in your child's pose.